Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to go over the key events and dates happening this week that could actually move the markets up or down. I'm going to also share the key levels I'm looking at on the broader indices, as well as trade setups that I'm looking to trade this week if they set up. Okay, let's start off with the key events and dates. So number one, the Russian-Ukraine situation. If things escalate, markets will probably react and we'll probably see a sour reaction. You can't really put a date on that because we don't really know what's happening and if anything's even going to happen. I hope not, but we'll see. So on Monday, we've got the emergency Fed meeting. It's a closed door meeting, so we don't really know what's going to come out of that, but that's something we have to be looking for. On Tuesday, we've got PPI. I don't really care about the numbers that are actually released. I'm more interested in the reaction of the market. How are we going to react? Are we going to see an oversized move up? Are we going to see a sell-off? So I'll base my trades around that. I'm probably going to exit my short-term trade positions before the release. On Wednesday, we've got the FOMC minutes. The last minutes were really bad, so I'm going to be looking for a market reaction. On Thursday, we've got Fed speakers, Bullard and Mester. They're both hawks, so that's quite bearish. Plus, the last time Bullard spoke, the markets went down by 2%, so need to really be looking out for that. And then on Friday, we've got two more Fed speakers, Waller and Williams. Waller's a hawk, Williams is a dove, so something to be mindful of. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to go over the key levels I'm looking at on the broader indices. Let's start off with SPY. We're looking at the weekly, so that's the 50 moving average. Basically, on Friday, if we close below this, that's going to be super bearish. We do have a head and shoulders, so left shoulder, head, and then we're forming the right shoulder. If we form this right shoulder, we're probably going to go down. So notable support is going to be 420 and the 50 weekly moving average. If we lose this 438, we're probably going down to those 420 21s. And then if we look on the daily, notable resistance right now is going to be this 200 daily moving average. That's at 444. For us to break this pattern, we have to close over these tops. So that's at 454 on the weekly. So on Friday, if we want to turn bullish, we need to close a Friday over 454. Otherwise, we're just going down. Right now, there's an uptrend here. I think it's somewhere from here. Yeah, there we go. We landed right on it. So we'll see where we open, but I'll be watching the 200 moving average, the 437 area, and yeah, see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if we just trade in these levels the whole week, to be honest. Next up, the Dow Jones. It just closed the weekly under the 50 moving average. That's extremely bearish. So we'll see what happens. If we don't gap back up, it's probably going to go back down to 331. And then on the weekly, I'd also be looking at the 200 moving average. Sorry, on the daily, I'd also be looking at the 200 daily moving average and the 50. But notable supports are probably going to be this. And probably here and here. But yeah, that's bearish. Next up, QQQ. We've closed under the 50 weekly moving average. Very bearish. Next support is gonna be those tops, but that's not strong support. Then those tops, we bounced once here, and then we'll probably retest those lows if we do keep going down. If we want to break this pattern, we need to get over these highs, which is at 382. That's quite the run. So notable resistances is going to be the 50 weekly moving average, the 200, and then the 50 daily moving average. So I'll be watching that. Right, XLF financials. When XLF goes up, QQQ tends to go down and vice versa. So XLF on the weekly is fine. On the daily, you could probably call that a triple top, but it looks fine. I'd be watching this uptrend. XLV, so the healthcare sector. I'll be watching the 50 weekly moving average. That's probably going to act as support, so might jump in there. And then on the daily, we can see that we closed under the 200 daily moving average, so that's bearish, may lead to more downside. And then this is basically, if it was to go bullish, we need to get over these tops here. Otherwise, let's say if we went back up, we would just complete this head and shoulders pattern and then we'd go down. But yeah, we may just fade. Okay, moving on to technical setups I'm looking to trade. Now, before we begin, these are going to be short-term trades. I'm only going to enter them if they set up. If it doesn't set up, I'm not entering. Okay, one of the stocks I'm going to be looking to trade is Facebook. What stocks tend to do when they gap down massively like that, the first time on a specific time frame you're looking at, when the 50 comes back down, they tend to reject it. If we look on the 15-minute, I'll be looking for this. See the 50, so the 50 moving average came in, it tried to get over it, and then it went down. So I'm going to be looking at the hourly time frame and then see if we get over it or not. I'm going to use this as resistance and I'm going to short Facebook. We'll see what happens. Obviously it may not set up. If it starts pumping, I'm just going to get exit. Next one's Apple. I see a potential inverse head and shoulders. So shoulder, head, shoulder. We're literally on the shoulder. If I could get in at 168, maybe in pre-market, use this as support and then long Apple. That's if the whole market doesn't come crashing down. So I'll be looking at that. Next one's Mara. I'm looking at these tops. Depending on where obviously Mara moves when Bitcoin moves. If Bitcoin goes up, Mara goes up 3 times as much, and then vice versa. So I'll be looking at these tops. I'd love to get in at 25 and then potentially go for exit at this 50 daily moving average, but that all depends on Bitcoin, I think. So we'll see what happens. Next one's Netflix. On the hourly chart, we've got a uptrend. So if I can get in at about 387-ish on this uptrend, I'd probably be looking at getting out at maybe 400 because it's a round number. And it would correspond with these tops as well over here. Obviously, if it breaks this uptrend, I'm out. And then it's probably going to go down if it does that. Next one's Shopify on the daily. So if we can retest this uptrend, I'd probably get in over there at 834 or whatever day it is. And then look at exiting at these tops at 925 or just under 1,000, but it's probably not going to get there. We do have earnings this week for Shopify, I think. So I'm not going to be holding anything overnight. On to Tesla, the 200 daily moving average is going to be its next support. So if it keeps going down and if it goes down to that 200 daily at 822, I'm probably going to enter and be looking at exiting at 851 or these lows here at 886-ish, 885. That would be a nice play. Next one's DraftKings. On the weekly, we can see we had support there, it's resistance now. So if we go on the daily, if we sort of just pierce this 50 moving average, I'd probably go short there. And then I think it's probably going to reject unless there's some good news coming out. So I'll be looking at shorting at the sort of 50 moving average. BIG, recent high play. We can see that it moves quite a bit, but it keeps on respecting this uptrend. And we're pretty close to the bottom. So if I can get in over there and maybe sell out at another pump, that would be ideal. Next one's going to be Nvidia. I'll be watching this 200 moving average. So the red line there, it corresponds with these tops. If it goes back down, it would bounce off of these tops, bounce off of the 200 daily moving average. That's a good entry. And then exit into this downtrend. Next one's Viacom. So we're approaching the 200 daily moving average. If it gets to it, I'm going to use it as a pivot to either short or long, depending on what the overall market does. Let's say it pumps all the way up to the 200 daily moving average, and the market's like, let's say SPY's up 1% and on good news, like let's say that Russia's backing off or something like that, I'd probably long it. If not, I'd probably lean towards shorting it and seeing what happens. But yeah, that's it for today. Just a reminder, these are short-term trades, in and out within the same day, ideally. If I enter long or short and it goes the other way, I exit automatically. I'm not gonna hold them and hope that they turn around. I have my levels and I'm gonna see if they get respected, and that's it. And we've come to the end of the video. If you like the content, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck trading.